Welcome to The Curve Weekly, the podcast that keeps you up to date with all of the money, business and stock market tea.
Brought to you by the Curve's research team. It's the latest insights on what's happening in the stock market, companies, other money-related news so that you can stay educated and ahead of the curve.
You can thank us later for sounding smarter than those finance bros at your next dinner party.
Okay, it's very exciting times. We have our
Very
producer,
exciting.
Emily, back from her gallivanting around the world.
I'm back.
Thank God. Honestly, Emily, never do it again.
Very glad you're back.
Very happy to be back.
How was your trip?
It was so good.
Really?
It was like a lovely, lovely amount of time off. Saw so many new countries.
Like, what was sort of the three highlights? Well, or maybe not even highlights. Do you have three, like, good stories or things that happened?
Yeah, I mean, oh, by the way, okay, should say, if you're listening to this and want to see what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
then click the link in the description, which will lead you straight to YouTube.
That sounds
yes.
really sexual. If you're
If you
listening to
wanna
this
see
and
what I'm
you want to
wearing.
see what I'm wearing.
Click the link.
Click for a surprise.
Yeah. Nothing.
Top three highlights, I would say, Vilnius in Lithuania. It was absolutely stunning. Would recommend anybody to go there.
Which
Seems
I've
like
never even heard of. I had to Google.
blooming gorgeous.
Is this the place that you said is like there's significantly more women than men?
Yes, which was so strange because I was walking around the streets and I was like, I don't know why, but I feel so safe here. It wasn't that busy, but I was also like, I just feel really safe and comfortable. And then someone had mentioned it and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's like a disproportionate amount of women to men. I would say, honestly, like interrailing itself, we have been calling it the rail trail, which is something completely different. I think it's like a bike ride
In New Zealand, it's
isn't
a
it?
terrible bike ride. Never do it. Yeah. Honestly, my butt has never been so sore. Anyway,
but yeah.
sorry, rail trail.
The Interrail experience itself, you basically buy one ticket and then you can go anywhere you want within Europe.
Oh, that's great.
And so I paid about like...
For how long though? Like for you?
So you can choose different tickets. So I chose 15 travel days over 2 months.
Okay.
And I was only away for 6 weeks, but I had 15 days of actual travel. And it was about £295. So cheap.
That's so cheap.
Yeah. The only thing was I've been on one before and then this is 2 years later and I was like, I'm going to go here, not really thinking about exactly how I was going to get across. And so on some of them I had to get a like ferry or on one of them I had to get a gigantic cruise, which was not included in the ticket.
Right. But that's still quite a clever way to do it. So you buy, it's almost like a membership or something. So
Yeah.
you're not paying for every single visit or every single train ride.
Exactly.
Because it's
just
actually
buy one
expensive
ticket.
to train.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this perception that you can just train anywhere in Europe for €2 and it's actually quite expensive sometimes.
Oh my God, we went out to the Cotswolds and we were running so late. And we were like, can we buy our tickets on the train? And he was like, yeah, cool, just jump on. We're like, okay, cool. And then it was like 2 tickets, tapped our cards and saw how much it was. And we were like, shit, we're on the train. We can't really like back out of this now.
Yeah, you can't really say no.
And it was like £80. If only we'd known how much it was, we probably would have
Done something else.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it is quite expensive.
Train tickets are super expensive. So yeah, I would say that in general, if you are in Europe or you're traveling to Europe or you live in Europe, think about getting an Interrail ticket. And also then it's kind of guilt-free because you're not getting 1,000 planes everywhere.
True. Environmentally, you feel
Yeah.
better about it.
It's like a 12th of the amount of CO2. However, the ferry that I had to get was like, God knows how much more. That didn't feel great.
Were there any big blunders, whether that be financially or otherwise?
There was.
Because I feel like there's this perception of travel where everyone's like, oh my God, so dreamy, you're traveling. It's like, it is exhausting. And for me,
Yeah.
it just goes wrong constantly.
Yeah.
But I think that's also the exciting and the adventure side of traveling. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're younger and shit goes wrong and it's like, that's when you learn, okay, next time I won't put my, spoiler alert, bag in the overhead locker of the train.
Okay, let's just pause. What happened? Tell us, give us some top line.
Okay, so basically I was traveling through Austria and I put my bag, bearing in mind this is like 6 weeks worth of stuff. Also, this is about 3/4 of the way through the trip. Put my bag above my head in like the overhead storage. As I was pulling into Vienna, the last stop, my bag was no longer there.
Had you slept on this train?
No.
So you were awake the whole time?
I was awake the whole time. It was like first thing in the morning. The train ride was about 30 minutes. Basically.
30 minutes?
Yeah. It was not long at all.
Oh my goodness.
So basically, I was sitting in a carriage you can have like 2 and 2 seats, like 4 seats facing each other. I'd sat down in one of those when I got on. Then it got a bit busier. So I moved forward one seat. And so my bag was slightly behind me. And then a load of people came on, sat down in that 4-seater, and then obviously could just see a bag on its own.
So sorry. So you got everything. They took everything.
They took absolutely everything, including my passport.
Oh my God.
Which was not ideal because I had one flight home right at the very end. So I was like, I need this passport. So went to the embassy in Vienna, got an emergency passport. I then got a phone call.
How much was the passport?
Yeah.
Okay, that was £125.
It's actually not too bad.
Not too
I really
bad.
thought it would be more
That's
than
where
that.
an emergency fund comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also had to buy a new passport, had to cancel a load of accommodation because I had to wait in Vienna for the emergency passport. Like
All the
one thing after
indirect
the other.
costs of that. Yeah.
I think also, okay, material things you can kind of get away without it. Still had the best experience ever, but like I'd taken 7 rolls worth of film. Like
no, that's
photos on my camera.
heartbreaking.
They'd all gone. I'd bought like some beautiful handmade magnets at every country I went to.
Oh no! See,
All
it's
got
the
taken.
small stuff like that that's like the worst. You can't buy those photos back.
Yeah, not at all.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That was hard. But yeah, emergency fund needed always
Yes.
at all costs.
because
That was a true emergency.
That was a true emergency. And yes, so many hidden costs. And also I would say travel insurance. I am embarrassed to admit this. I was previously very anti-insurance. Definitely should not be admitting this on the Curve podcast, but here we go.
Anti-insurance because it feels like what a waste of money. There's a big
Yeah.
crock of shit. They're this giant conglomerate taking all this money from people. Was it that kind of mindset?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And stuff will never go wrong for me. Like,
No,
it's
it's
like,
never gonna
Was it
happen.
that though, or is it more just the concept of how? Because there is such a reputation for insurance companies never paying out.
Yeah.
Was it more a bit of a fuck you than a I don't think something's going to go wrong?
A bit of both, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's my friends in the past who have been like, you need to get insurance. And I've always like kind of dug my heels in the ground a little bit. But on this trip, I was like, you know what? I'm going away for 6 weeks. I should probably get travel insurance. Thank God I did. I would have been screwed. So yeah,
So did you get a lot of those costs back?
I'm going through them at the moment.
Oh, good.
and I
luck.
think that's the thing with insurance is like, it's to remember that it doesn't pay out straight away, right? So if you need things like an emergency passport, you need to use your emergency fund, and then you get the travel insurance to pay out later and
Exactly.
put that back into the emergency fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big emphasis on emergency funds and also just some planning. Oh, also, okay, one other. Actually, should I mention this?
Yes,
The
yeah.
Okay.
What, the 6-year-old wanking?
I love that you knew that. I was like, is this going to come up? Because I want to talk about it. This is FUCKED, and you should have left this accommodation immediately.
Oh, God. Okay, so Oslo. I've been on a 7-hour bus ride because the train stopped working. Again, another expense that was separate to the Interrail ticket. Planning, guys, planning. Finally arrived in Oslo, walked into this hostel. The dorm that I was staying in, the door was wide open. I walk in and there is a 6-year-old man having a wank who's
Oh
also
my-
half asleep and kind of snoring. I was like,
How is this? What's going on here?
what's happening?
The actual hell? So in that moment, what went through your head?
So I had just had a really weird experience previously in Copenhagen. So ran into the toilet, phoned up the hostel owner and was like, I feel super uncomfortable. There's a guy doing some weird shit in this hostel room. Like, please, can you help me out? Have you got any spare beds? And he was like, no, can't help you. No, nothing I can do. Sorry. Then the hostel owner comes out because he's actually living in the hostel.
Oh, no.
Goes into the room, tells the guy off.
Oh, quite good.
Yeah, but then goes back into his own room. Then the guy just comes to me and is like,
Why did you tell me?
yeah, if you had a problem, why didn't you just say it to my face? And I was like, well,
Oh my goodness.
do you want me to stop you mid-wank? Like,
Jesus. Oh, my God.
Were you just
so
like, I
odd.
just
What
want to
did you
eject myself
say?
from this position
yeah,
right now?
honestly, because I hadn't said on the phone explicitly what had happened. And I think I was just all over the shop at that point. I was so tired. Literally just burst out crying.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you would.
Oh, my God. I totally get that.
And then I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to judge you. Like, you seem like a really nice person.
But
I
also
just-
when it's just you and him there and you're like, okay, how do I diffuse the situation? Because I'm alone.
Yeah.
And, you'd just be a bit like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to.
So
Bye.
you didn't
Yeah.
tell him at that point. So he didn't even know why he was in trouble.
No, he didn't. He didn't because he didn't know that I'd like caught him.
Oh, this is so disgusting and bad
I know,
in
it's
so
horrible.
many ways.
And why is a 6-year-old in a hostel Why is he
know.
having a wank? And
I think though that's a really okay. So I'm just going to skip through the fact that Emily did not leave the accommodation, which
No.
I was like, that is no. You need like that's bad. You can't. It's like verging unsafe. I would say. And I think in that moment, that's when an emergency fund comes in.
I
It's
agree.
like that I've paid for this, but I need to just accept the fact that this is not where I need to be right now. This is like unsafe, unsanitary, just bad all round.
Yeah.
I'm booking new accommodation, and it's having money aside for stuff like that when traveling, which I think is really important because you just can't control what people around you are doing.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
inevitable. You're going to find some disgusting old man in a hostel at some stage, but being able to choose to leave because you've got money aside to do it, I think is so important.
I remember when I was in South America and we were staying in a hostel. There was like eight beds in the dorm, and we woke up one morning and it was like late. It was like 10 a.m. and everyone had been drinking the night before, and so had this other guy, and he was absolutely passed out, but passed out naked, like sprawling naked. And he slept till like 2 p.m. and everyone was coming and going.
so
and
jealous
like,
of that.
And he
sleep.
was just, I was like, oh, it's kind of probably a good thing he doesn't know and he's asleep, because like he woke up and he was so mortified. And then I so petrified that I was going to strip off my clothes in the middle of the night when I was drunk. You know, that you like go to bed, comb it, and you kind of like get hot and strip off, and then But see, it's like those stories that make memories.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can laugh about it now. At the time, not so much, but
Yeah, good
Yeah.
podcast content. If
yeah,
nothing else.
there you
for the
go.
plot, do it for the
Yeah.
plot.
Exactly. And then, the final thing was, this is just before my bag got stolen, so like double whammy. Was in Poland, had met my friend out there. We'd had 2 Aperols, had got on an e-scooter.
Is this 2 Aperols or 2 Aperols? Like
It's 2
it's so
Aperols.
inverted commas, isn't it?
It's like, Mum, I promise I only had 2 Aperols. And then can't walk in a straight line.
We had half a bottle of wine each, but like that was hours before.
So
We
have
then
you just
had-
decided to change the type of alcohol?
As well, which makes me think you've had 2 Aperols
I'm like,
and
has she
half a
had
bottle of
half
wine.
a bottle of spirits? Like I'm very confused.
But like that, the half bottle of wine was way earlier in the day, and then we'd had 2
got you.
Aperols, jumped on 2 e-scooters, was riding for about a minute, instantly got stopped by the police,
No.
breathalyzed, charged £500 each. This was irresponsible of us. However, let me just say, their tolerance is so low. In
They can't
Poland,
handle their alcohol, or
It's only half a bottle of wine, and I had half a bottle of wine and 2 Aperols. So
That was fine.
Yeah, okay.
So their like drink driving limit is 0.2. In the UK, it's 0.8, and I actually checked in New Zealand, it's 0.5. We were at 0.22 to 25.
right? So you're hardly.
It was so little, but also just what really F's me off is the fact that the police were waiting at the side of the road and got us, and then instantly, as soon as we left the car, as soon as we paid £1,000 between us, they had somebody else in the car, were doing it to another person. They are waiting for tourists.
They obviously had
breathalyze.
some kind of fine quota they were trying to get.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
shit, we're nearly at the end of the month, guys. Get some
They're
money
probably
in.
like in cahoots with the bar, and they're like, yeah, let us know when people
yeah,
leave.
true.
And then,
We'll scoop on in.
yeah.
Make a
Damn.
fast buck. Anyway, that
Also,
was,
£500, a lot of money.
Yeah.
that was so much.
That
But
would
also, you
hurt.
don't want to like argue with authority in a
No.
foreign
Shit,
country.
no.
I would be like, take my money.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
God, that's devastating.
Yeah, that was tough. And then had all my stuff stolen. So that was not great. But yeah.
Overall, great trip.
Yeah, great trip. All in all, it's been
So
a great
what
time.
are our big takeaways, financial travel takeaways?
Get an emergency fund in place 100%, because I made a budget and I had only saved up enough for that exact budget. And obviously all of these extra costs were then digging into everything else.
Yeah.
So get an emergency fund in place as well as your actual budget for the trip. Second of all, plan in advance, because I didn't. And there were so many extra like ferry rides, bloody cruise rides, extra buses. Third, travel insurance. In fact, any kind of insurance. I think I'm like, I need to insure my entire life now.
Yeah.
And then finally, actually, this is not financial, but
That's fine.
I think, material things don't actually matter that much. Bar the whole photos and magnets, that was kind of heartbreaking, but everything else, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can replace that. And actually, the final week that I had without all my stuff was the best week.
Really?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Why do you think that was? Is it because you've got an Italian boyfriend?
Yeah, 'cause
that
I
you
just
were staying
ran-
with
I just
and maybe in
ran
Puglia? Was it-
21 hours on a train back to my boyfriend. help me, I'm poor, literally.
No, I think that's a good, yeah.
Yeah. And also, who comes and like helps you out in those times of need.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got no clothes.
Exactly.
Help.
Help.
He's like, come here. I'll sort you out. I'll take care of you.
Well, look, overall, very happy to have you back. Really
Yes.
glad you've got all your limbs, that the passport's been, and also just great to remind yourself that like travel and taking a break from work, you always feel revitalized and ready to go,
Yeah.
The daily grind can get exhausting. And actually, yes, we all need to make money, but also we need to live our lives.
Yeah.
So
We need to make money for holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And get a plan in place.
yeah, love it. Oh, very good. Now, Vic,
Yes.
we've got many things to get through.
Yeah.
Why don't we crack right into it?
Sounds good.
Number one, DORKS.
Dorks.
Why are we talking about dorks?
So the meme craze is back.
I love a meme
stocks.
stock.
I know. You're always like, why don't you tell me? I'm like, honestly, you have about 30 seconds to get on these things.
So when this happens next time, I just want to let you know, can you just, I know you sent this to me yesterday, but like when did this actually happen?
like
Literally.
days before that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we'd already missed it. Okay,
By the
got
time
you.
it's mainstream media
Right.
or on the Curve podcast.
Was it the purring pussy that came up with this again?
No, this has just kind of gone a bit more.
Sorry, can I just give context? It was the
Roaring
Roaring
Kitty,
Kitty, who used to be the kind of ringleader of these stocks. And just for a very quick overview, these stocks are essentially, it's almost like
viral investing. It's like
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
mentions it on Reddit, everyone jumps in, buys the stocks, they shoot up, this is up like 100%. Like GoPro's been one just recently and it's up 100% in a week. Like these things move. We are not condoning investing in these because this is not a good investment strategy, but it's just crazy to see more and more meme stocks. Like there was kind of one back in 2021 and that was the first meme stock. And then now there's been like so many. It's quite funny.
what was it again?
GameStop.
GameStop.
It was like a real kind of rundown DVD and game store that was like literally about to go bankrupt. And everyone's like, let's save it. And then so they bought all the shares and then, Anyway, the reason this is called the Dorks is that's the name of the 4 meme stocks that are happening right now. So you've got Donut, which is Krispy Kreme, Open, which is the ticker for Open Door, which is a home buying company, a mortgage platform called Rocket, and then the department store Kohl's. So that's obviously Dork, DORK.
Did you make this up or is this like a
it's like
global?
an actual thing? Yeah.
God, the internet's cool sometimes.
But yeah, and then there's GoPro, which is also jumped in there as well, which doesn't really fit the Dork. Yeah, there is a lot of meme stocks happening right now.
Krispy Kreme's random.
Yeah.
But I
feel
want to. Sorry, can I just ask? When they pick what they're going to decide is the next meme stock, is it generally companies that are doing shit because their share prices are low? So when everyone buys it, they can buy them cheap.
They usually pick the ones that where the share prices are low, but also they've got a high percentage of their shares that are shorted. And remember, this whole thing is a big FU to the hedge funds because when a share price of a company, I'm going to explain shorting actually. I'm going to take a step back.
AKA The Big Short.
Yes.
The movie. If anyone's seen it, who's in it again? Is it Matt Damon? And I just make that up.
No, it's, oh my God, what's his name? Christian Bale, yeah.
Ryan Gosling's
Christian Bale
stunning.
is Michael Burry, who's like,
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, when we buy shares, we buy them in companies because we think they're going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
We buy them because we think, okay, this company is going to be bigger and better in the future. But there is another way where you can make money, and it's buying shares because you think the price is going to fall. So you make money when the share price falls, not when it goes up. But
so you buy it differently, right?
You buy it differently. And the best way to explain this is to think about, let's say, maybe let's use me and you.
Okay.
So let's say I'm like, cool, really love your sneakers, Soph.
Can I not be the mug in this? Can you be the mug?
Okay, you come to me. So let's say you come to me and you're like, Vic, oh my God, love your shoes. Can I please, they're like limited edition, super trendy, naturally, because they're my shoes. And you're like, and right now those shoes are worth £200. And you're like, cool, can I borrow them? Like, can I borrow them for a weekend? Like, a couple of months, whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, cool.
I see where this is going.
You go, here are my shoes. You go, cool, thanks. You immediately chuck them on eBay. and you sell them for £200 because that's what they're worth.
Without permission.
Yeah, without permission. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
But you're selling them because you know, for whatever reason, that the price of those shoes is going to drop very soon.
Okay, so I've got an idea.
You're like,
so maybe the person that designed them was Kanye West. And I know because I'm friends with his best friend that he's going to be cancelled next week.
Yeah, and those shoes, no one's going to want to wear them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have some kind of like other information that I don't. You're like, yeah. So you go, cool. You sell them on eBay for £200. You pocket that £200. Then a few weeks later, what happens, and the price falls to, let's say, £120.
Yeah.
You then go back on eBay and you buy them at £120. You've just instantly made £80. You then give them back to me.
Wait, why do I give them back to you? I don't get that last part.
Because you borrowed them from me. I want my shoes back. Yeah.
So I sold them without you knowing. I did a little cheeky.
And you just told me that you wanted to wear them for the weekend, but you actually just made money out of them.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, can I have my shoes back, please? And you go, yeah, cool. You give them back to me. They're now worth $120 for me.
So I'm kind of almost making money by like
something falling in value.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're selling, then you're buying.
We're going to give another example.
Rather buying than selling. Do you know what I mean? If you buy something low and you sell it high, you make a profit.
Yeah.
The same happens if you sell it high and buy it low.
Okay. I reckon we use one more example because I can see our producer Emily's face and she's looking slightly confused. So I think that we do one more example.
Okay, let's continue on this example.
Okay.
When you buy shares and you buy them at a low price, they could go up and up and up and up and up forever and ever and ever. Like you could make exponential amounts.
Returns.
Yeah. But when you buy shares, the amount that you can lose is only 100%. So if you bought shares for £50, all you can lose is £50. You know, if that share price goes to zero, oh, tough cookies. You've just lost £50. But you could make 100, 200, a million. You know, like the
you're right. That tree's looking very in your way.
That upside is like exponential.
Got you.
When you're shorting, the same thing happens, but in reverse. So let's take this example again. Let's say you took those shoes and you sold them on eBay for £200. But
okay, we're going to have to complete it. Hold on.
So
you have cool shoes. I want to buy them, but I just borrow them instead.
You borrow them. Yep. You just borrow them. And then you go, actually.
I block you from eBay so you can't see where I put them.
Yeah. And you go, hey, I know Kanye West is going to be cancelled. And so I'm going to sell these shoes on eBay for £200. He's going to get cancelled. I'm going to be able to buy them back cheaper. But that doesn't actually happen. And
so the cancelling doesn't happen.
I've
sold them and I'm like, oh shit balls. Actually, I need to give these shoes back to Vic.
Everyone fucking loves Kanye West.
Oh no.
And there's been a run on the everyone wants to buy the shoes. Then the price goes up to
they're £1,500. Yeah. They're very expensive.
Yeah. And then I call you up and I'm like, so if those shoes are in, you can have them back. And you go, sorry.
Yeah, I get you.
I have to now buy them back at £1,500.
So okay, I'm
because I want my shoes back.
Here.
You borrowed them; they're mine.
Shit,
they're not yours. They're mine.
Give them back.
So you're going on eBay, going, oh, shit, and you're buying them back at $1,500, and you've just
lost $1,300. Yeah,
dollars.
That's a very good example.
Sorry. Yeah. So then if that price, say they kept getting more and more exciting and you were just kept waiting because you're like, maybe I can buy them cheaper. Maybe the price will fall.
They could go up to 5,000 and then 5,000
and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Vic. I sold your shoes on eBay.
This is something that would happen to me too.
Yeah. So this is what I mean by the opposite is true, that the price can keep going up and up and up, meaning you're out of pocket and your losses get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is exactly what's happening with these meme stocks, is that so many people are short their shares. So they're in your position being like, I'm going to buy them back cheaper. But people have come in and gone, no, you're not, Soph. And we're going to show you, and we're going to buy heaps of the shares. So that it goes up and up and up and up and up. So you're sitting there. You're sitting there going, oh my God, watching the share price go up. Your losses are going up. Yeah.
And it's all these guys in their gilets who work for these giant hedge funds.
And it's all these people sitting at home in their
gaming computers, going we're going to F you. Oh my God, this is so good.
And there's a point, right, where you go, if you saw these sneakers going up and up and up, you're like, okay, I just need to like bite the bullet and stomach these losses because it could keep going further. Yes, it could come down and you could be like, oh, thank you. But so it gets to a point where these hedge funds are like, oh my goodness, okay, like we just need to. Well, it's usually me. I would be like, because I do have in the investing world, you do have some idea that you've lent your shares.
True. It's not like the shoes that have accidentally gone rogue.
Because the risk, I guess, is that you can't pay for them, and then I've lost out too. So there's contracts in place, but I would be the one being like, Soph, I don't give a shit. You need to buy them and give them back to me ASAP.
Yeah.
So then there's kind of like rules and limits in place. So yay!
Shit.
We've been trying to explain shorting for so long, and
That was
so
really well done. That was really well done.
Yes.
Did you follow that,
Okay.
Emily?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect.
So anyway, this is what's happening with all these meme stocks. One of them is actually American Eagle, which Sydney Sweeney is doing a big campaign on.
The
and
lingerie stuff.
No.
Oh, that's what Jeff
like
Bezos.
denim wear. Yeah. So everyone's like, oh my God, is she moving the meme stocks? And anyway, so yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot. It's not just social posts that can go viral. Stocks can go viral too.
Love that. Great one-liner.
Yeah.
Very good.
Moving along to a bit of a more heartfelt, probably a bit more slightly depressing conversation.
I think this is such an important one though.
Yes. Yeah. There's been a recent study that's come out that's shown that finances can actually detect dementia very, very early on. Yeah.
This is so fascinating. And
I'm loving the reaction. Like I kind of
you've
like
got a
when-
live audience in the studio.
loving that Emily hasn't seen my notes, whereas Soph has. She's like, yeah, I already read that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, maybe
Whereas
I shouldn't
Emily's
read
like,
it.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, I think the reason this is like so interesting is that I actually have a lot of friends or family friends who have had dementia and early onset dementia where you would just never assume that that's what's going on. And the financial piece has always been, it's not ever been linked in a cognitive way.
But on
Excuse the pun.
reflection,
But on reflection, it's like, oh, if we'd known that,
Yeah.
that would have made a lot more sense. Like making bizarre decisions with all sorts of different things, from stocks to property to blah, blah, blah.
Which is quite incredible that like even before the memory or the health side effects sink in, you can spot it in like the change in patterns in their finances, like things like really disorganized bills, paperwork. For someone that's really onto it, if that starts happening, that's like a big red flag. Things like multiple daily withdrawals because they've obviously forgotten that they've withdrawn money, and or they're much more believable for scams. And I was thinking about, as I was writing this, I was like, oh my God, my mother is so astute. She's an accountant. I reckon as soon as any of this hopefully doesn't, but if it did start happening, I think it would be such a sign. But it can be detected like 5 years, but 5 years before someone's diagnosed, they've found, which is a huge like time frame to, I don't know, get treatment or like at least put parameters in place or something. But there is one company, Substar, who they've got an app that actually helps people manage their finances with dementia. And I went to a talk with the founder, and she was like, she started it because of her mother had dementia. And she would go around to her mother's house and she would have like 30 bottles of detergent because she would go to the supermarket and not realize what she's bought and then buy it all again. And she was like, so they've got this app which has limits of being like, no, you just bought that last week, or, you know, that's kind of helps them have that independence, but also.
That's genius.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, how cool. Yeah.
That's wild though. Imagine if you could find out that you had dementia 5 years before you'd be diagnosed. I don't know if I would want to know, because at that point it's only a tiny, tiny, tiny impact, right? Like it's, imagine, I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds about it in terms of if I would want to know. There's not a lot you can do about dementia. It's quite a one-way track.
But I think from a finances point of view, it's like, okay, we can spot this before it gets out of control and you're buying 30 things of detergent all the time, you know?
Or you spend all your money and you're in a position where you can't afford care, or and it then falls on the family.
From that point of view, definitely, yeah.
Wow, that's like huge. And what an amazing app.
Also, as of last week, which is actually obviously this week.
It's the reason that Vic's saying that is because she's now really starting to clock on to the fact that this comes out 4 days after we record it.
Yeah.
So this is so last week.
So last week, yes, there has been rules introduced that across all the big tech companies, so like Reddit, Google, Meta, X, Apple, all of them, that they're using AI from preventing under 18s from seeing unsuitable content.
Oh, thank goodness.
So drugs, porn, eating disorders, suicide, all of that.
Wait, hold on. Is this a good thing?
Yes.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, They won't.
All
be
of
able
a
to say
sudden, I was like, "Is this good?"
Yeah.
Because the whole censorship thing is like a question mark
Yeah.
in terms of. I saw someone post something the other day, and they were like, "He's just a comedian in Australia," and he was like, "My video's been taken down because it's unsuitable content, but you will see." And it was like some other really like messed up thing that had been kept up there, and his whole kind of joke or skit was around the fact that it's ridiculous that what he put up is like not community guidelines, blah, blah, blah. And yet there's all this really awful stuff that's still. So that's the reason I second took and was like, is this good?
Yes. Well, we actually got an email from Apple being like, hey, just FYI, like if your content is not appropriate, we won't. And I was like, we have so much inappropriate content.
What do you mean? Sorry, what was the email? And sorry, why was I not flagged about this? I'm like,
well, because we have an app, right? And Apple, so Apple, if they're found, if any of the big tech companies is found to be putting content like this in front of under 18-year-olds, and if you're breaking the rules, you can be fined £18 million. So this is just in the UK, by the way, £18 million or 10% of your global turnover. So for Meta, that's $16 billion that they could be fined.
That's amazing though. So they're taking it really seriously.
Well, because like a couple of £1 million or dollars, whatever it is.
They're not going to do anything about it.
That's like cool.
So who has put this in place and who's enforcing it? Is this like the UN? Like I don't even understand how this works.
No, so this is like the within each country. So you've got the EU, you've got UK, US. Like they're all doing their bit. Like in New Zealand, for example, there's a campaign.
Before 16.
Yeah. And it's to get, all the tech companies to not be putting any of this in front of under 16-year-olds, which is incredible. But
we will link that actually for anyone who is a mum or interested in trying to protect the youth in New Zealand. We will put a link for you to sign that.
Sign the petition.
Yeah.
But that's just run from people that want to see this action take place. Do you know what I mean? It's not, they're trying to get it into government to be regulation, to be actual law. But right now it's like you can still do this. Do you know what I mean?
So that you basically, sorry, I obviously missed the key point here that the UK has put this regulation in place.
No, they're using AI to ensure that no under 18-year-olds see that content because it is now against the law in the UK.
Oh, that's amazing.
And this, I honestly think this will just become more and more.
But thank goodness.
Universal.
I mean, I can't even imagine it was hard enough being a 14-year-old at school when I had my little Alcatel. I can't even imagine how overwhelming it would be to be a child in the world. And sorry, like I know that it's really important, all of the stuff that people are sharing on Gaza and what's happening there. Yeah. And it is so important that people share that stuff. But can you imagine being 13, not knowing what or how you can help and seeing content like that, or like not just that, but just anything that is overwhelming for a young child that like they don't know
the context, or they don't they can't
it's just like
process
it's hard to process as an adult. I think that
there is the flip side to it, right, where
they should know what's going on.
No, I guess people that are, or young people that are feeling vulnerable and isolated, it is a way to connect and have community. So but I think the majority outweighs that minority. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that the overwhelming damage that social media does, I think there's got to be
is the lesser or the worse evil.
Yeah, there's got to be ways that we get around, supporting young people that are feeling vulnerable. That is not social media, because that is just like doing too much damage. And hey, maybe there'll be less vulnerable people if we took away social media. Like it's kind of all intertwined. Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
it's such a weird world sometimes.
Yes. We all know there is such discrepancy when it comes to pay from senior management all the way down to every single employee.
Yeah, it's funny because remember that, I can't remember what table it was, but it was the top paid people in the world, and whoever some of those CEOs were, like earning billions. It's just absolutely crazy when there's people then who are earning minimum wage.
And I get it, like they've got more risk, they've got more responsibility, but the Starbucks,
blah, blah. You're just turning up to a meeting and saying yes and no. Like, sorry.
You're not.
No, but yeah. There is obviously way more pressure. I know that I'm being... No.
I'm like, if that's what you think. Yeah, anyway.
No, I'm not. But my point is like no amount of money, trillions of dollars. Like how much?
I guess what I'm saying is like, yes, there's more risk and responsibility, but not 6,066 times more which is what the CEO of Starbucks gets paid versus a barista. Like 6,066 times.
Oh my God.
Absolutely crazy. And this is
Are they
actually
making a really shit coffee? Like
he earned about he earned about 100 million, and the average barista earns about 15,000 a year. So yeah,
it's a lot.
But it sparked like quite a big debate that's kind of spiraling, because the Macquarie CEO, which is a big bank in Australia, she gets paid about 24 million. And like because you're a private company, all this stuff has to be disclosed. So
It's
investors,
so messed up as well, because as soon as I hear she, I'm like, nice.
yeah, I'm like, do it for the women. But you know what? It's like everyone, they all get ridiculed because they are earning so much more, and it's just like creating that divide and that pay disparity. And I think there is a fine balance between your base salary to be, appropriate, but then your overall compensation. So maybe if your shares hit, a 50% return in the first year or something, then you get a bonus. Like I think incentivizing good performance in the company is a way better structure than like the Netflix CEOs, the co-CEOs get paid 14, 15 million just a base.
What would you be doing? Also, sorry, I just did a weird snort out of my mouth. That was such a weird noise. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But like imagine
14 million, did you say?
I just feel like I'd be really disincentivized.
I'd be like, God.
Because I'd just be like, I'm getting
but
paid
I
this.
also think you're not going from earning £45,000 to 14 million. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like you've obviously been earning quite good money on your way up. So
I would get the first monthly salary amount and be like, see ya. Get $1 million and just be like,
bye.
Vic, where are you? Hello?
Oh, sorry, I booked a flight to Greece, actually. I've decided to leave the country. I'm not coming back.
But then if we look at it on a grand scale, so let's look at if we look at the average and we look at the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in the US, the average CEO to worker ratio is like 285 times. So like the average CEO is getting paid 285 times more than the employees at the firm. Even that, it's either they have to pay their employees more, or they should reduce their salaries. And I think it's paying employees more. But then that leads to inflation, and that means, it's just like, this whole
I feel like this is fine to share. We pay Emily the same as what we pay ourselves.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a great way to do it, because you kind of feel like you're in it together. I feel like as soon as you've got a CEO or a leader that's earning heaps and heaps more, I don't know, I think it kind of gives this weird sense of
authority, or
like it makes the hierarchy. Like I think you earn respect based on the fact that you bring skills and leadership in a way that someone is feeling like they're learning from you. I don't think that is just based on like the fact that someone feels almost scared of, or so out of depth, or so distant from the person that's leading because they're paid astronomically more.
I think in a small company that's like, but in big corporates, when someone is doing a much more low-skilled, job versus someone leading a multinational, making decisions.
To Netflix, to be
fair. Then I can see there should, of course, be a discrepancy. But what is the appropriate figure, right? Is it 200 more? Is it 6,666 times more?
I do think we're starting to get closer to there being almost formulas to use for this kind of thing, in the sense that, now, salary bandwidth is almost compulsory in a lot of places to share.
Yeah. I kind of love that public companies have to disclose it.
Yeah. And I think what I mean is I think that we're probably going to start seeing method behind the madness in terms of how people price out different jobs and job descriptions, and I don't know. I feel
agree.
like we're starting to head towards a place where there's more of like a way to figure out based on hierarchy, based on skills, how people are paid.
Based on ChatGPT.
How much
am I worth? But also the thing with Starbucks is that workers have been fighting and like protesting and striking and all this for better pay and better conditions. So it is kind of a slap in the face when your CEO comes out with one of the largest disparities it's
But
like,
they're striking in Starbucks.
yeah, they're striking. All the Starbucks workers are striking to be like, hey, you're paying us peanuts. Can you pay us more?
That's so awkward.
All you have to do is take 1 million off his salary and spread it around from everyone else, and they'd be pretty happy. Like,
gosh, that's quite terrible, actually.
but also, it comes back to the tax reforms that Trump put out as well in his big, beautiful bill that was to benefit, like the tax cuts.
Can we call it the BBB or something?
BBB.
Like,
BBL?
I can't deal with the idea of, let's call it the BBL, because I can't deal with the idea that we're calling it the big, beautiful bill.
I know.
Like, absolutely jump off a cliff.
But CEOs are expected to have about $500,000 in tax cuts versus your average typical worker about $800. So it's definitely benefiting the more wealthy. So it's just adding to that, I guess, that discrepancy in that pay split, which is great. Thanks, Trump.
Speaking of very rich people.
Anyway, yes, there's been some data that's come out about the richest country in the world.
I don't know what this is, so can I guess it?
Yeah.
Give me some clues on what country. I mean, geography is probably my worst skill ever, but let's try.
I think if I give you a clue, though, you'll get it straight.
China.
No. Let me do my preamble.
Okay.
So this is coming down to things like, sorry. And just go back to your guessing.
Okay. So
it's somewhere where Emily went on her trip.
Lithuania.
No. Or some
Oslo.
region.
Italy.
Yeah.
Norway.
Norway is the richest country. And this isn't based on like, because prices differ with different countries, right? You've got exchange rates and all of that. And like you can have a pretty modest salary and actually go far if the prices are cheaper. So it takes in so many different aspects. But
so it's almost like the salary versus living costs.
Yeah. And it's like you can have a high income, but like maybe that you have fewer hours you have to work because it's a really productive country. So all of that comes into play. And it is Norway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that based on how much people get paid, based on how much people pay for things like electricity and rent and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
People or feel or kind of can have a lifestyle or...
Yeah, it's like the output of the country. So in terms of like...
GDP?
Yeah, so GDP but versus hours worked. So it's like if you're really, really effective and efficient...
So they're working 4 hours a day, but they've got a very expensive country. Yeah. Emily, could you jump on the microphone, please? Because I think you've been to this country. You just put your hand up like you want to ask a question. So sorry.
Oh, yeah, my question was, what is GDP? What does it stand for and what does it mean?
Good question. Gross domestic product, and it is effectively the amount of activity in a country. So
just
the amount that you put out.
The net worth, kind of.
It's kind of like the value of a country. So the amount that they produce, essentially. So like China's and the US, their GDP's massive, like trillions and trillions of dollars. New Zealand, small country, not so much. Yeah. So, yeah.
But I guess then the idea of the richest country would be looking at the GDP versus the people that are putting energy and time and what they're being paid. And then, so it's almost like, it's like looking at companies in a way. And if you look at their profit versus how much they're paying for their expenses, kind of, the ones that are paying not a lot, but are making heaps of money, you would kind of think of the richest or in a weird, kind of weird sidestep way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
So it's more like, obviously the living conditions in the likes of India and China and, are not great, but they're producing lots and their GDP is really high. So it's like it's taking into account a lot of factors. But yeah, quite interesting.
One of the things that I did know, this is in Denmark, but I feel like they do have this in Norway and maybe Sweden as well. And we were talking about this. All of the public bins had almost like a shelf next to them where everybody would leave their bottles and cans, like glass bottles and cans.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that people could come around, collect them. And then if you go to a recycling point, you get money for it. So
they're incentivizing people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also
that's good.
helping the homeless to make some money.
Copy paste.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's try it.
Copy paste. It's not that hard. Don't be original.
We'll probably get ridiculed though, just like putting our bottles next to the bin. Everyone will be like, what the hell are they doing?
But like even when I was in Turkey last week, I was hiking up from the beach and there was all this rubbish and I knew this was going to happen. I picked up like 5 things and then as soon as you start you're like, oh no. Now every time I see something I feel like I need to pick it up. But then at one point I was going through these ruins and there was this big giant like mound of just people that had put rubbish in one spot, and I nearly went to put it there to think, oh, perfect, here's a spot. And my sister was like, no one is picking that up. Like, don't add to the pile.
It's like when I first got to London and I would see rubbish on the ground and I'd pick it up. And then I realized this is never ending.
Yeah.
You kind of have
Which
this
is a
defeatist.
shit, what's a really shit thing
Whereas
to
in
have,
New Zealand,
right?
because you're already at a stage where there is such little litter that then if you pick it up, it kind of feels really great because you're solving like a bigger problem. Whereas in London, you're like, oh gosh, it's like.
But I think that then comes back to the system, right? And if you look at somewhere like Norway or whatever, if you put shelves in everywhere, people get on board.
Or if you do Singapore, where you get fined till the cows come home if you actually litter, like just fine people.
Yeah.
Crack down.
Imagine if you couldn't say
chat.
I know. Imagine if you couldn't litter, or like you couldn't say a bad word to anyone, or you couldn't, and you'd get fined heaps.
Oh my God, can I just tell you something funny? Sorry, it just reminded me of something. I remember being in a car once and someone, no joke, opened their door and dropped out like a McDonald's bag of rubbish, like literally just put it on the ground. And I drove past and I was like, what's wrong with you?
Nice. Deserved. I'm sorry,
but like what disgusting pig. Like
But also like
don't be so lazy. What do you think is happening
also
to that?
who condones that? If I was in a car with you guys and I just threw my McDonald's out the window, you'd be like the fact that there's people in the car that don't really say anything. It's like, you know, it's like, I remember when I was hiking Machu Picchu and I ate a banana and I threw the banana peel. I was like young and I was like, it's natural.
Decompose.
Yeah. And this lady behind me, she was like, excuse me. And I was like, oh, I know she's going to say something. I was just like a little brat. Anyway, she's like, do you know how long that's going to take to get decomposed? What if everyone threw the banana peel? And I was like, okay. And I picked it up and I had to carry it for like the next 8 hours.
Do you pack better now when you go on hikes?
Now that I know and I'm more educated, I'm like, I can see why she was saying what she was saying, but I think it was just, you know, just authority. You're just like, shut up.
You were also such a brat at that age, weren't you?
And I was like, no, fair enough. Now I'm like, what was I thinking?
I even think cigarette butts, like when people just throw them on the ground, I'm like, what? That is not going anywhere. Like just literally put it in a bin or an ashtray and throw it out.
It's weird that that's allowed, eh? Like
well, it's not.
No,
I'm just
I know,
like, when I
like,
see it though, I feel too awkward to say it because I'm obviously in a setting where it's like social and people are drinking and there's like a little part of me dies. I'm like, oh, pick it up.
Imagine you just start picking up all your friends' cigarette butts.
It's just, it's too far.
Have a little bag. I was walking behind somebody and somebody did the exact same thing but with a disposable vape. Just chucked it on the ground. I was like, oh.
You're like, no. I know smoking and vaping are kind of similar, but that's crossing the line.
I'm pretty sure disposable vapes are illegal now in the UK.
They are.
You can't buy them.
Yeah.
When I was in Turkey, there was this guy, this is quite rude, but he had seriously the largest stomach I've ever seen, like enormous. Good on him. He was in his swimming togs, but he was holding this baby that was kind of like sitting on his stomach. So...
Did you go up to him and be like, is yours going to be a boy?
Sucking on this enormous vape and then just going and blowing this like vanilla smelling
and
smoke.
The baby.
And the baby is there. Sorry, it's not funny. This is bad. But my point is I was just like, what part of you thinks that like that is just terrible parenting?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you reckon it's an education? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But I was like, I could smell his vanilla from the other side of the beach. It was just so gross.
And on that lovely image of him, his baby, and his vape, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you.
I would just like to say, I think you put more effort in today than normal. There was so many interesting bits in that. I feel like I am so much smarter.
Okay, cool. Well, next week's might not be as good. No, I'm just joking. But it will be great. It will be fantastic. Listening. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Also, for anyone that hasn't listened yet, we put an episode out last week with Chloe Swarbrick, who is a New Zealand-based politician. However, we just spoke about politics generally. It wasn't specific to any country. And if you are interested in learning about politics and money, it was a really great episode to listen to. So we'll link that also in the show notes or just search it. I think it's, what do we call it? Politics and money or something. The Systems That Divide. Very powerful title. I thought, very good, Emily. Well done.
I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, thank God for that.
We would have been like, Chloe, Vic, and Soph.
101, money and politics. Okay, bye everyone. Bye. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Curve Weekly. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the money, biz and stock market news. And If you like what you heard, we would love a review. Thank you.
Yes, we would love a review, but if you
Only a
did
good
hate
one.
it, please, don't leave one if you hate it. No, but in all seriousness, could you please leave a review? Because it really helps other people find our cute little podcast.
And we hope you have a good week and see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet. Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Lol. See you next Tuesday. I mean Monday.
No, actually, though, new episodes out every Tuesday. Okay, quickly. The Curve was created to empower and educate you about investing, but we are not financial advisors.
Our platform exists for educational purposes only, and it doesn't provide personalized investing advice for your individual needs and should not be relied upon to make an investment or financial decision.
And always remember to do your own research before making any investment or financial decision.
We're here for any knowledge and support you need, but the final call is always yours.
And thanks for being here.
You got this.
Yeah, we know you got this.